Do you like sports? Do you like sports? Do you like sports?
Welcome back to the Let's Talk About It podcast. I'm your host, Dime, and this is episode 10. Bears versus Steelers recap. Bears lose. Bears are on a 4-game losing streak right now, and they can't get it right. Unfortunately, this game is prime time Monday Night Football against the Pittsburgh Steelers at Pittsburgh. We had no Khalil Mack, no Eddie Jackson. David Montgomery did return. And we're going to get straight into it. It's about 11 o'clock right after the game. Not going to lie, I'm pretty upset, pretty frustrated. A lot of calls. We're going to get into it, though. Quick thoughts going into this game. I was pretty eager to see what are the next steps that Justin Fields is taking. He did have a pretty good game. But, let's get into it. The Bears got the ball first, trying to establish the run. Jason Peters got hurt, which is a big blow for the offensive line, considering the fact that he's our anchor. Even though he's about 39 years old, he is the best offensive lineman we have. He gets hurt. We have a 3-and-out. We punt the ball. Pittsburgh gets the ball. We have a big play to Claypool on Vildor. Back shoulder pass. End up scoring on a Najee Harris touchdown run. Bears get the ball back. Jason Peters, he comes back into the game. Immediately gets a false start. And this is going to be a theme throughout the entire game of penalties. And it's just a backbreaker. Jason Peters gets a false start. Stalls the whole drive. Bears now punt the ball. They're already down 7-0. Eddie Goldman had a big day today. He flashed on the TV screen. He was blowing up Pittsburgh center. He really had no chance stopping Eddie Goldman. And considering the fact that Khalil Mack wasn't playing today, we definitely did need a bigger role from Eddie Goldman. Akeem Hicks ended up not finishing the game. So, again, more of an emphasis for Eddie Goldman to establish himself and impose his will on the Pittsburgh's offensive line. Very next play, Robert Quinn gets a sack. Akeem Hicks, who did play in this game, he did not finish. Ended up following that with a tackle for loss. And the defense did get a stop. What we're very capable of doing. Pittsburgh doesn't have an extreme high-octane offense. Ben Roethlisberger looks like a shell of himself. He didn't do nothing much this game. He went, 21 for 30, 205 yards, 2 touchdown passes. So he didn't do nothing extravagant, but he did enough, to win the game. So let's get back to it. The Bears get the ball. Fields scrambles. Ends up getting a sack. Throws an interception to the lineman. Ongoing possession. The Bears defense gets 12 men on the field. And then Big Ben scores a touchdown. 0 pass rush. The Bears came out flat. There's no way to sugarcoat it. They came out flat and they found themselves behind quickly, 14-0. At this point, I was just ready to put on the Bulls game because the Bulls did play the Brooklyn Nets, which they did win. Shout out to the Chicago Bulls, giving the city of Chicago something to root for. I definitely think the Chicago Bears need to take a look at how the Bulls are doing what they're doing. And if you establish that with this NFL, the city's going to ride behind them. Anyways, back to the Bears game. Bears are down 14-0 already. First quarter, instantly down. We then get the ball back again, and Goodwin makes a drop. He drops the ball on a poor pass. Don't do nothing our first 3 drives. It's punt, interception, punt. Then we get a field goal. We don't get a field goal until right before the end of halftime. So our first 5 possessions, we either punted or had an interception, which is unacceptable at this point. You spend all week game planning for these teams. You would think that first 15 plays that you draw up are going to be successful. What's the point of scouting if you're not going to draw up the right play? It's pretty frustrating as a fan just watching this. This is on prime time. This is the team you're rooting for, and they're just putting out a poor performance. So up to this point in the game, it's only a 2-score game, and we still have a chance. So then this is when the offense starts picking up, getting to that field goal. You got the 25-yard play-action rollout pass from Justin Fields to Cole Kmet. I think this was obviously Cole Kmet's probably best game as a Chicago Bear. Duffy had 6 receptions for 87 yards. He hasn't done anything close to that to this point, which is pretty impressive. It was a bright spot in this game of the tight end being utilized. And Jimmy Graham was utilized later in the game as well. Jimmy Graham did drop a ball in the end zone. He had a chance. And then they followed that up with a false start by Borum. And then that's when they got the field goal. So this is the string of events that we had. The defense got to stop. And like I said, it was still a 2-touchdown game. You get the field goal. It's now 14-3. Second half, Pittsburgh gets the ball. Mario Edwards, another penalty, another roughing call. And at this point, I'm starting to look at the coaching like, how many times are you going to give this player the opportunity to keep putting us in a hole? We talk about this in previous episodes of you're playing the Pittsburgh Steelers on the road. You can't have these many penalties and expect to win the game. And Mario Edwards, who's a repeat offender of after the play or roughing calls, he doesn't get it. He doesn't get it. I don't know why we keep putting him out there. I hope Sean Desai watches the film and makes an educated choice pretty soon down the road, because this just keeps hurting our team. And again, we're on a 4-game losing streak. We're trying to do anything and everything we can to get up out of this hump. So he has another penalty. Follow that up. The defense responds, has a great stop, great coverage by Duke Shelley, great PBU. You can't draw it up any more perfectly of his coverage on the wide receiver. And then we have the big play from Justin Fields to Marquise Goodwin, the 51-yard catch, which ends up in a field goal. Blown calls by the refs. And that's another thing we're going to talk about in this episode. The refs were absolutely terrible. But I look like a biased fan when I say that. But even Scott Van Pelt on SportsCenter right after Monday Night Football is questioning these referees. Like, what are we doing? It was so one-sided in this game. It started making it not even fun to watch. So Justin Fields starts getting in the rhythm. You get another field goal. It's now 14-6. All right, 14-6. Steelers get the ball. They're driving. Can't stop them. They end up scoring. Ben Roethlisberger, touchdown pass to their tight end over Kendall Vildor. And at this point, ladies and gentlemen, Kendall Vildor does not need to be on this roster next year. If he is, he needs to be a special teamer. He's not it. I feel like there's so much more talent out there that we shouldn't be settling short for someone like Kendall Vildor. No disrespect to him. He's not a top 2, top 3 cornerback in the league. He's not that for a team. At least for the Chicago Bears, up to our pedigree, up to our standard, he's not that. He's small. You need a big corner to shut down these receivers. It's a passing league. So he's just getting mismatched and getting picked on at this point. Following possession by the Chicago Bears, big pass to Jimmy Graham up the seam. End up getting a touchdown on the Wildcat formation from David Montgomery, handing the ball off to Darnell Mooney. To be honest, I would love to see this more. Unfortunately, we've been finding ourselves in big holes, so we can't run the Wildcat. But I feel like one of the bright spots that I do see for this offense is that Wildcat formation, especially with David Montgomery coming back, because now you have the option, like today, you could pass it to Darnell Mooney. You can even hand the ball off to Khalil Herbert, who's showed that he can run the ball in this league very consistently. So David Montgomery, Khalil Herbert, Darnell Mooney, it's pretty dynamic. Does something for an offense that doesn't do much. But we got a touchdown. Following possession for Pittsburgh, we get a pass interference call on Jalen Johnson. Big play, pass interference call on Jalen Johnson. Ends up getting the Pittsburgh Steelers 3 points, which end up our following possession. So they get the field goal off the pass interference. So they kick the ball to us. Jakeem Grant, who's an all-pro kick returner, who we got a couple weeks ago, fumbles the ball on the return. So we just keep setting ourselves back. And again, at this point in the game, the Bears have more yards than the Steelers. They're plus 100 yards. They got 100 more yards than the Steelers does. Yet, the Steelers are winning this game. Defense gets another big stop. Offense doesn't do anything. Offense does nothing. 3 and out. We punt the ball. And this is where it makes a turn. We punt the ball. Pittsburgh's returning it. And we force a fumble. He fumbles the ball. DHC, Houston Carson, again, right man, right spot. Picks the ball up. Runs it. High IQ play. Scores the touchdown. We're now down 23-20. It's a 3-point game. We've came all the way back. So now we kick them the ball. We need to stop. This is a big moment for us. Cassius Marsh, who we just got a sack connoisseur. He's a journeyman. He's all around the league. I know he was in Seattle. Makes a big sack. We just got him. Makes a big sack on Ben Roethlisberger. Does his signature tornado kicks, sack dance, sack celebration. Then you see a flag, and then he gets called for taunting. Mind you, the game is 23-20. We just got a sack. They're going to kick us the ball down by 3. With about 3 minutes left in the game. And they throw the taunting penalty out there. Keeps the drive going. We kick another field goal. It's now 26-20. Now, Justin Fields, the kid, the rookie, what are you going to do being down 26-20 on the road? Hit a big slot fade route to Allen Robinson. Huge play. Gets us instantly into the red zone. Then follows that up with a touchdown pass. Dime. Dropped a dime to Darnell Mooney. Tying the game with 1 minute and 46 seconds left. Cairo Santos comes in, kicks the extra point. We take the 1-point lead with 1 minute and 46 seconds left. So we took the lead. We came back. All we need is a stop. They have one timeout left. And guess what happens? Defense comes on the floor. That's our strength, right? That's our strength with our offense lacking this whole season. Defense needs one stop. They've been doing good in this game. You just need one stop. We get back-to-back offside penalties, and it puts them in position. The Steelers kick the field goal. We get the ball back with about 30 seconds left. We're dinking and dunking, trying to chew up time because we don't have any timeouts left. So then it's either we have a Hail Mary or we try to kick a 65-yard field goal. course, Nagy's going to try to kick the 65-yard field goal. Cairo Santos is good. He does not have a power leg. So, of course, he misses it, and that's the game. Bears lose. This is the stat I want to run by you guys, which is crazy when you think about it. Penalties in a game. When you hear me talk about these penalties in a game, I want you to understand that I understand the game of football, and I'm not going to over-exaggerate. If my team loses and they deserve to lose, for sure. But when you have 12, again, you're on the road, right? You have 12 penalties for 115 yards. And the home team has 3 penalties for 30 yards. Come on. That's crazy. And the taunting penalty after the sack, and then when they do the replay, he's just looking at the sidelines. Like, you can't even tell what he's saying. He's looking at the sidelines. Then when he goes to run away, the ref then gets in his way, bumps him, and then throws a flag. You can't do that, and I hope that the NFL or somebody in the Bears organization can mail that footage in, and we could get that taken care of, because we could have easily came back and won. Not going to say that, however you want to put it, the Bears lost. They're now 3-6. They're on a 4-game losing streak. This is, again, now Nagy got to explain, what are we going to do? We're now, again, in a 3+ game losing streak, 4+ game losing streak. Now we go into the bye. What are you going to do? What are you going to do to fix this? Me personally, I feel like the vibe I'm getting from the Chicago Bears is they don't even care about how the season goes no more. Not for this season. It's just all about developing Justin Fields. And it's like, we still have a chance to get into the playing game to get that last wild card spot. Are we giving up? Yeah, we're at the halfway point of the year with about 7 more games left, but come on. It's unacceptable. And us as fans, we shouldn't have to deal with this. Justin Fields looked okay. He's looking better. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say he's bad. He looks good, but I feel like the planning, like Allen Robinson was getting more involved. I seen that he was limping towards the end of the game. I hope he's okay, but I just don't know where you're going to go from here. Like, what are we doing? Like, what is the plan? Are we just bagging everything up and going home, or are we trying to make the playoffs? Because, again, you play to win the game. This was a game that we were supposed to come back and win, but we didn't. So now we sit back and watch and wait to see what is going to be the next move for the Chicago Bears. What are we trying to do? I'll be eager to see what Matt Nagy says. I haven't watched the post-game interviews or anything like that, considering that the game just finished and I just wanted to record this and put this out there and stay consistent with the routine. So I'm going to, obviously tomorrow, I'm going to look into seeing what Matt Nagy has to say about this game and where he's at and hear the whys and all that good stuff. But yeah, man, this is a game that we were definitely supposed to win. We didn't, and we're 3-6. We are what our record says we are. Got to bye, get healthy. Hopefully Khalil Mack can come back, but we got a lot of division games on the second half, which could put us in a good spot if we could win them. But we're not helping ourselves out being 3-6. Going on a 4-game losing streak. These things are going to have to stop. We got to do something to give us some juice and get us on the right path, because you don't want to get in a routine of losing. That's what you don't want to do. Now, moving on for the Bears game, I do want to shout out. I do look into the comment section and I do see my boy Tomas. Tomas been commenting on every episode I drop, and I don't ever give him a shout out, even though I say I will give you guys a shout out, but I appreciate it. And one of his questions was, why not put Foles in? Instead of letting Justin Fields just get hit previous weeks and so on. I'll say this, Tom. My personal opinion, I feel like they're trying to hang on to Justin Fields so they don't get fired at the end of the year. with how this is looking, and if it doesn't change, I do see Matt Nagy not coming back next year. Because he was already on the hot seat coming in. So I feel like they're just trying to buy themselves time. I don't know why Foles is on the roster, because I guess he could be doing something in Halas Hall, like in the classroom, like on the sideline. He could be an extra coach. But as far as cap, and we could use some extra players in different positions, I feel like he has a lot of money on our books. So that's my reason why you don't put Foles in, is because you're trying to stay employed, man. They're trying to stay employed, and by saying that, you can say they're developing the kid. So that's, in my opinion, what I think is why they don't put Foles in and keep Justin Fields in. So we got a bye next week, so I'm not going to be doing a Bears recap. Instead, on a brighter note, we're going to talk about the Chicago Bulls. Shout out to the Chicago Bulls out here, 7-3, just beat the Brooklyn Nets at home. Big win. A lot of people were saying that we haven't beat nobody. We now beat the Utah Jazz and the Brooklyn Nets. And we came back to beat the Boston Celtics. So take that, all you haters who try to say bad things about my Chicago Bulls. We're coming. Hype train's just beginning. And I really do wish the Bears are watching what the Bulls did. They got rid of their front office finally after how many years, and put somebody in there who has a resume of putting together deep rosters. And in less than 2 years, you're putting together a team that's very enjoyable to watch and competes every night. And you have a good coach like Billy Donovan. But yeah, that's episode 11. Episode 11, we're talking all about the Bulls. I'm very excited to get into that. But this was today's game. We're just recapping the Bears-Steelers. Again, the Bears lose 29-27 in a close one. Justin Fields does come back and scores late, but it's not enough because the Steelers come down and get a field goal to take the lead. And again, Cairo Santos misses the 65-yard field goal. And unfortunately, the Bears are on a 4-game losing streak. So here's to hopefully we could bounce back from it and try to make a playoff push. And hopefully we can get healthy.
You made it to the end. Thank you. I appreciate it. You can also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I said,